Chapter 15. I stood in front of the casino as if I was waiting for a taxi. I'd been taking taxis for weeks now, so it wouldn't be out of the ordinary. Through the lobby windows, I peeked at the guard. He turned from the lobby and stepped back into the casino. Cameras would watch to make sure I didn't come back in. But if I made it appear as though I left and then circled back, no one would be the wiser. I waved down a taxi and waited for a couple to step out of the back seat and pay their fare. I slipped in behind them and smiled at the driver. "I have a favor," I said.
"I don't do favors,"
she said, and she looked like she meant it. Her dyed hair was the blackest shade of black. Tattoos littered every inch of her skin from the neck down. A bullring nose piercing detracted from her otherwise simple face. "I have $2. Can you drive out of the parking lot and then right back?"
"You've been kicked out of the casino, haven't you?"
I nodded. "Yes, and I have to get back inside."
"It rarely works when people try. I've had a few like you. They always come right back out the door with a security guard attached to them."
"I'm hoping for a miracle. Will you do it for $2?
That won't even cover starting the meter.
"Can you do it without starting the meter?"
"Does this taxi say charity on it? Get out so I can pick up a paying customer."
"Listen, I want to sneak up to the penthouse and no one is able to so far. I'm going to try the stairs and see if I can't sneak around security." This perked her curiosity.
"What's so important up there?"
"The CEO is in the penthouse. I have to see him."
"Jilted lover?"
she asked with a chuckle. At least it amused her. "Yes, and I'm going to make sure he pays." Actually, I was going to make sure Fiona paid, but Grayson and I were going to have words too.
"Sure. Why not? Give me the $2. I'll drive you around the block."
I handed her $2, and she pulled out.
"Does this CEO have a new girlfriend and you're ticked?"
"He has a new assistant and she's duping him."
"Or he could like her."
"Possibly." I didn't want to think of it like that. Even if he did like her, it didn't give him the right to allow her to take over his life and cut everyone off. Or did it? No, I had to stick to my plan. Any pondering or wavering would stall me. I'd end up talking myself out of it, and then I would have to sit around waiting for people. That's not going to happen. If they were risking their necks, then I should be helping. And so should Grayson. "Do you have a crowbar?" I asked. I thought she would tell me no, but instead her eyes sparkled when she said yes.
"I like a girl who fights for what she wants. It's not like you'll get too far, especially with a crowbar in your hands."
"Will you pull over and give me the crowbar before we return to the casino?" She pulled the taxi over to the curb and popped the trunk open. She jogged to the back, retrieved the crowbar from the trunk, and hopped back into the driver's seat.
"Here you go,"
she said as she passed me the crowbar.
"Just give me your name and phone number in case you sneak past security. I'll need the crowbar back at the end of my shift. I don't give this much help to anyone, but I love a good man-beating story to tell my customers. It makes the day go by faster."
She winked at me in the rearview mirror. I scribbled my name and phone number onto a crumpled receipt I found in my purse and handed it to her. "I'll make sure to bring it back." The taxi turned the last corner and stopped at the front door. Sergio's pants were loose enough on me to slip the crowbar in without it sticking out. I looped the claw end over my waistband and yanked my shirt over to cover it.
"Good luck,"
she called with a chuckle.
"I'll see you soon."
I dashed inside with a run hop due to the crowbar. I veered to the elevator and saw the doors open. I sped my run hop to make it before the doors closed. I slid in with a few other passengers and pressed the button for the floor right below Grayson's. Keeping my head down, I tried to avoid camera exposure. The elevator stopped on the 7th and 10th floors, and my fellow elevator riders stepped out. I was alone to ride the remaining floors. I tapped my foot on the floor. Being the only person in the elevator, I was easy to pick out on a security monitor. The elevator dinged, and I flew out. There had to be a staircase close by. I turned to the left, but there were only guest rooms. I turned around and ran hop to the right. A stair sign hung on a plain door. Twisting the door handle, I breezed through. My heart thudded against my chest. I only had to climb one flight of stairs to Grayson's floor. I removed the crowbar from my pants so I could climb the stairs without hard metal jabbing me. I didn't stop to search for cameras. They were in the stairwell somewhere, and they were on the penthouse floor too. Security rarely roamed the hotel hallways and were mainly stationed in the casino and high-traffic areas. If they spotted me, it would take a few minutes to catch me. I climbed the last stair and ran to the door. I tested the handle with a jiggle to make sure it was locked. I would have felt like an idiot breaking into an unlocked door. It was locked. Wedging the crowbar into the doorframe, pesky bits of reasoning and second thoughts were jabbering, but I was concentrating on yanking the crowbar with all my weight. The door creaked and shifted on its hinges, but didn't give way. I had to pop it open, and it wasn't budging with my weight. Muscle power was required. Since my arms weren't strong enough, I had to use my legs. I eyed the surrounding walls and picked a good position. Placing one foot onto the wedged crowbar, I tested it to make sure it was sturdy enough. I leaned against the wall with my back and brought my other leg up to the crowbar. The door didn't budge, but I hadn't put all my muscle and weight on it. With, unfortunately, no limbs on the ground to keep me from falling on my butt, I proceeded. I pushed my back into the wall and my feet against the bar. The resounding crack of the door and the thud of my body crashing to the floor echoed through the stairwell. Groaning as I rolled over, I picked myself up off the ground. Perhaps I should have listened to my inner voice. This was going to hurt tomorrow. I snatched the crowbar off the ground and raced through the door, which was now bent and hanging crooked. Security had to be aware of my location by now. I scurried down the small hall and halted in front of Grayson's door. I held up my hand to knock, but I stopped before I could make the sound with my fist. What if he didn't want to see me? What if Fiona and Grayson came to the door with robes on? My heart dropped. I would die. My heart would keel over and I would die. I'm sure it would happen. Security would tackle me in less than a minute. I had to make a decision. Do I turn back? Do I run away? Do I continue no matter what's behind that door? I was here for Maya's sake, for David's sake, and for Remy's sake, not for mine. I wasn't in any danger, but the rest of my friends needed help. And Grayson was going to help, damn it. I slammed the door with my fist, again and again until it opened. Fiona cracked open the door. Her eyes were wide. A scowl replaced all shock that I was standing in front of her. Shocked that I was able to access the one place she didn't want me.
I'm calling security,
she said, slamming the door. I heard the lock sliding into position. I don't think so, I snarled through the door. Get your ass out here. I banged on the door. Grayson, I need your help. When the door didn't open, I pressed my ear to it. It was silent. All I could think about was security coming to drag me away while Grayson was in his bedroom waiting for Fiona. It was irrational and emotional but consuming. I needed help, and Grayson was off playing with Fiona. I slammed the door with the crowbar, splintering off a wood chunk. The vibration from the hit zapped my arm with a shockwave. I gritted my teeth and slammed the door again.
What the hell is going on?
I heard Grayson shout from inside.
I've already called security,
Fiona said. Grayson whipped open the door. His face was hard and angry. So angry. He glared at me with his piercing gray eyes. The crowbar clattered to the floor as I stood there speechless.
What the hell are you doing?
I need your help, I squeaked. All those pesky bits of reasoning were back and scolding me, telling me how stupid and ridiculous I was acting.
So you break down my door.
No one has been able to talk to you, not even Remy. I was on the brink of tears. I didn't know why. I just knew that I didn't want Grayson to see them. I had to stay strong. All my emotions were coming to a single point, and I was beyond containing them. Grayson was furious. I'd never seen him so mad, and it was directed at me. The eyes I never wanted to see for fear of forever haunting me were pointed at me in full force.
You're out of your mind.
Grayson said.
Anyone can talk to me by calling.
I shook my head. If I spoke, I'd end up crying. If I had a few moments to collect myself, I could explain, open his eyes, and even yell at him.
Just because I can't see you right now doesn't give you the right to break down my door.
Security filtered through the broken staircase door. 2 men grabbed hold of my arms, and a third guard confiscated my crowbar. I couldn't bring my eyes to Grayson's. His eyes were blazing and fierce. My bottom lip trembled. Why couldn't I tell him he was an idiot? The guards dragged me toward the staircase.
I want a damage report. Nadia is banned from the casino until I say otherwise.
My eyes slid to Grayson. There was no doubt what I read from his searing glare. I was banned from his casino and his life. I was now an outcast, no longer able to return to the casino I spent all of my days and nights in, no longer able to see Grayson or Remy. Maybe not even Maya. I choked as my heart slammed against my ribs. I'm sure it was heart failure as I watched him slam the door, catching a glimpse of Fiona's Cheshire cat grin.